Brown's balloon is stuck in a tree.
I don't think he talked.
Can you send someone?
I'm sending Gollum.
Send Gollum.
Oh man. Climb a 40-foot tall tree and a red balloon. Don't make the child cry.
He's got this.
He's gotta start somewhere, bro. He's gotta start somewhere.
Welcome everyone, and today we're coming back to a character study. Today's game we're actually focusing on is Dispatch. Now, Dispatch has had a chokehold on the gamer community for the past month because they were coming out with episodes weekly. And boy, I tell you, let me say, if you missed a week, it was crucial. You missed a week, oh man, the amount of spoilers that would happen the next day, you would have to be off the internet for most of the time. And I haven't had to do that in a while, where I had to be locked in every Wednesday. So no more Dispatch Wednesdays. But today we're going to be focusing on a character. And I think we all know who this is. We'll be looking at Robert Run'em-Down Robertson III. That's a lot of R's. Originally, I was going to do a Wolf Among Us video, but I'm going to put that on hold, unlike the sequel. Put it on hold for a bit because I was honestly just in the midst of playing Dispatch and was just so focused on the story, lore, and character of this that I was like, figured I already have the footage. Now, this video is going to work similar to the last character study where I was talking about, Max Caulfield and how we make a theme for her and all that stuff. So we're collecting evidence in the same way, except in the end of this video, I'm going to focus on an analysis and kind of go through brick by brick and show you the session on how we got here. We'll be putting this series to rest with this video essay. If you have been checking out the channel, I've been posting a lot of shorts on it. I have been putting out the supercut that is out, and all the full videos of just me and my homie playing through it and going through the decisions are up. And so this video essay is just to put a bow on things and say goodbye Dispatch as we move on to the next project. So we start off with the hypothetical, like say the boss man of Ad Hoc comes up to you and asks, man, the game's pretty much complete, we're almost done, I just needed one more song, maybe a theme song just for Robert. How would we approach this? And immediately I freak out and quit. But seriously, instead we actually go and we start collecting evidence, turning this into a research project. So we got to look at the context of the story, the point of the Z team, how he became a dispatcher and his end goal. So the Z team is 8 former villains who were chosen from those who signed up and placed on the team. However, owing to the team's less than welcoming approach to every dispatcher assigned to them, the entire program that focuses on redemption ends up failing and is on the chopping block of being shut down. And this is where Robert comes in. Robert is the 3rd Mecha Man in his family's legacy, but due to his last mission, it failed and he lost the power source to his suit.
Gramps was the first Mecha Man. He died in the suit before I was born. Dad was killed fighting Shroud. That's when I took over. There was a little inheritance and the life insurance money.
His end goal is really to get the Astral Pulse back and avenge his father's death, who was killed by Shroud, the overall villain of the story, and the entire end goal of why he's in the dispatch program, waiting for his suit to be fixed up again.
You're right. It's a front. This guy, Robert, is a mask. He's not real. He's the guy who sits behind his desk, biding his time, dreaming of the day he gets back in the fight. I haven't told you who I was because I'm kind of starting to like you all, and I'm not sure you're gonna like the real me. But the difference between this team getting by and this team being great is trust. So you should get to know the real me. I'm Mecha Man.
To gauge how the song is going to be formed, we got to look at the man behind the mech. Looking at the base personality before we really progress through the story, he is jaded, cynical, but still cares enough about his team and is motivating them all the time throughout the story. He carries a lot of weight with the Mecha Man title as he is the third to wear the suit. And because his father, who wasn't around as much and was the second to wear the suit, when he was around, he was more of a tough love guy on Robert, and he carries this and reflects it onto his team.
Look, Robert, you should be proud. The bar is very low with this group.
Well, it's not low for me. Look, I like to make a joke and keep things light as much as the next person. But when it comes to work, I'm not fucking around here. If you want the Phoenix program to survive, the bar needs to go up.
And how would we do that?
By treating the Z team like what they are, a bunch of villains. And leading a supervillain team takes a different approach than a superhero team. I need to be around them. I need them to see I'm all in, and they need to match that energy.
Some tough love.
The only kind I know. And based on what I've seen, the only version they'll respond to. I'm not saying everyone will make it. They won't. I'm not saying it won't get spicy. It will. But when it does, I also need you to trust me to handle it. I don't want you stepping in. They need to respect me, even if I don't have powers.
He holds strong a lot of the times to his moral codes, especially when it comes to being a hero. And even without the suit, this dude doesn't shy away from a fight, nor is he scared of any threats that come his way. He's dedicated a lot of his life into being the third Mecha Man and carrying on the legacy. And so the test to him is seeing how well he pivots in being repurposed and working a desk job instead of being out in the field as a hero. The other thing I wanted to focus on was really his dynamics with team and heroes and other people as well. The trope feels similar to when you have that substitute teacher that goes in and takes over for this really bad class full of kids, and all of them are getting Fs and blah blah blah, but over time they get used to the substitute teacher, and he's, teaching morality, better education, their grades change. And the teacher is really going through the mud with these kids because they're all, a rough batch of students who didn't really care about education before, but are changing their mind now. This is basically Robert's relationship with the Z team and getting them to actually care about hero work and stay in their jobs. Now, his dynamics with Invisigal is a little more centered and focused, and throughout my gameplay I did lean into it. Putting aside the lovey-dovey relationship, it being a walking HR violation, the game focuses on her because we're using her as a prime example of redemption, which is what Robert says the Phoenix program is all about.
What's going on?
You did villain shit while you were a villain. Does it change things that you directed at me? No, it doesn't. That's in the past. You're not the same person that was there that night, neither am I.
Taking in the romantic relationship back into account, this becomes a little bit more complicated, which leaves the player to determine how they want to lean into this. The other romantic option would be Blonde Blazer, as she's the one who got you into the program first. And I can go a whole separate way about this, but because I'm going to stick closer to how I played the game, I'm going to focus more so on Invisigal's relationship and determine how well this affects Robert's theme song and how we approach that. With his dynamic with Chase, it's still more of an older brother, little brother kind of vibe, despite Chase's rapid aging and him being basically Black Einstein. But despite the age, his personality hasn't changed much, and it still does give that big bro, little bro vibe throughout the game. This is why it takes a toll on Robert when Chase makes his final run, emphasizing the relationship they've had over the years, as he's seen Chase way more than his father. I believe that this still plays into Robert's personality, especially as a kid, and he takes this model into what it means to be a hero today.
You ever think about why we do what we do? Help people. Put it all on the line for someone who won't ever know your name, won't send you a thank you card, won't be at your bedside when you get hurt.
It's just the right thing to do.
Sure. And you think the Z team will be able to tell the difference?
That first week, Busy was gonna walk off the team. She's feeling low, talking about how she was born with powers that always meant she'd end up as a villain. Like he was fated. So obviously I gave her the pep talk, like, that's all bullshit. You make up your own fate, yada yada. I don't even remember what I said, but I do remember thinking, oh, fuck. Yeah, that must have been hard. Like if I didn't have you, and my dad, where would I have ended up?
You were always good. That was always in you. It's what makes us different from a thief like her.
Oh, come on. You've stolen things too.
What? You racist motherfucker, I never stole a fucking thing in my entire fucking life.
Chase, you've literally stolen things from me.
Oh yeah, but that doesn't count. That was for somebody else.
What, you quietly contemplating?
Yeah, I guess I hadn't considered some things.
Finally, in terms of dynamics with Shroud, we really don't get to see much of him until the 7th and 8th episode. But before then, he really is just a big villain presence that we didn't really hear talk until the last 2 episodes. However, we gotta shine light on this because we have to understand that this is still his end goal, which is to get revenge on Shroud, as Shroud used to work with his father and ended up betraying and killing him, which sets up Robert's entire end goal. Now, in my gameplay, I'll be honest, I killed him. And originally, before, when he was just a presence, I didn't really have the intent to kill him. But because he broke out of prison, set up this mass gang organization, is really smart and calculating on how he approaches heroes, and says stuff like this.
This was your father's gun. Kept it in his locker, fully loaded. 6 shots. He couldn't have predicted I'd use it to kill him. The first bullet grazed his shoulder. I hadn't adjusted to the adrenaline spike. The second hit his upper chest. The third burst his heart. He's lying on the floor, eyes full of fear, when I put the 4th through his face. A bit of a waste to put the 5th through that idiot's skull, but I wanted to make sure it worked after all these years. Your father was the last person to touch this bullet. And now, there's a 16.5% chance it touches you next. Your invisible girlfriend stole my astral pulse to give it to you. Where the fuck is it?
Buddy had to go. All these character dynamics are important on how we shape the song. The goal is to kind of tell a story with the song before I even put visuals. So this leads me into this. I hope you get the point I'm trying to make with this poorly edited kind of trailer looking video. At this point, I need visuals to go with the song, so I really hope that it hammers down the point I'm trying to make.
Can I get a beer?
I'm 20. I can't fucking buy beer.
You said anything.
Don't drink the shit in front of your dad.
Never, I swear.
No shit, kid. I was joking. Keep up.
So fucking proud of the man you've become. He told me that.
Just gets better and better.
Most people will look around this room and see a bunch of villains. But that's not what I see. Because lucky for you, I'm not most people. When I look around this room, what I see is potential. Unfortunately for you, it's a curse. Because there isn't a thing in the universe that goes more wasted than potential. And despite how common it is, no one seems to forget. It's what they whisper when you leave the room. Oh, so-and-so had so much potential. It follows you forever. I'm here to help you lift the curse of potential by getting you to fucking do something with it.
All of you in this room, like the Phoenix, have set this program ablaze with your bullshit. I'm pushing the dumpster fire away from the building while we figure out if you want to take this seriously. The Phoenix symbolizes redemption. It's what you're here for. It's what connects everyone in this room. To burn up who you were, to become who you were meant to be.
I can turn invisible and skulk in the shadows. My powers let me steal shit and watch famous people fuck. Being a villain is my fate. It's in the fucking stars. In the same way that blonde Blazer was always meant to be a hero.
You did villain shit while you were a villain. Does it change things that you directed at me? No, it doesn't. That's in the past. You're not the same person that was there that night. Neither am I.
That's sweet, but I feel numb. from this was for you to look at me the same way you look at Blazer. Even if it was just once, you know? That'd have been enough.
We don't kick people when they're down. We lift them up, and I believe of her what I believe of all of you, that her heart is in the right place. It's what took us from being a team to being this weird, fucked up family. Now isn't the time to cast blame. It's the time to come together and heal.
Yo, so this is the session file for the song you just heard. I wasn't going to go instrument by instrument, but I did group it so that way you can kind of see it better. Right here we have percussion, pads, you know, keys, the lead melodies and synthesizers. We got the arps that was doing all the plucky stuff in the beginning, the orchestral stuff, those, you know, strings, and then a group setting of like weird harmony and effects. On this side here, so right side we have our groupings. The left side is just kind of section by section. Kind of going off of what you saw so far, we have Robert Jr.'s past, the little beginning, his prime, the Invisigal effect, and then him being Mecha Man at the end of the day. So let's just go in section by section and figure out why I did this, why I chose why I chose the things I chose. Let's start with the first. So this theme was actually stuck in my head. Funny enough, in the beginning I did want to keep it simple, and just kind of start small and build up from there. So I established the theme for him, and honestly it rang out throughout the rest of the song. I did have a challenge with actually building off of that instead of it being a repeated motif over and over again, which is why we hear it so much. But this is kind of what sets the tone. So far all I have is just humming and a simple plucked lead, if I remember. Let's go into it. I don't remember what it was called. It's UVI. That's fun. That makes sense. Glass Orchestra. Glass Orchestra is what it was. So from here, R.R Prime is more so the build-up, kind of like how you saw in the video last. I wanted to build towards something. Now, originally I made this song before even putting any footage to mind or doing an edit, but I did want to tell a story with the song and see how far we can get. And this is kind of what I came up with. orchestra is working on its own with the strings being just this. Ooh, started off. And honestly, with this orchestra and the percussion combo, I honestly took a little bit of inspiration from one of the Oppenheimer songs. Let me find it. It was Atmospheric Ignition in the beginning. So we increase even more from here on to build up to this point here where we add flutes and the delayed harps, and I wouldn't say everything's happening at once, but we do add more just to give a little bit more body. Then here we get to the R.R Invisigal dynamic, and this is where I did want to break it up and kind of escape the repeated motif of the theme, but I couldn't come up with a more, it was a pretty simple chord structure, which is why I kind of stayed, I think it was an F harmonic minor throughout the song, especially in this section here. I'll just play it from here. The reason I went about this in a way is because often throughout the game, every time we have these like dynamics with Visi, it's more so every time we have the dynamics with Invisigal, it seems to keep playing this kind of Rhodes keys and light synths in the background, which is more so, I think it's just the Rhodes keys. I think it's just the Rhodes keys. And I kind of wanted to build off of that, especially in this beginning section here where we just kind of have only the lead. We only have the lead here with the pads, and then we build from there, going into the orchestra of the plucked bass, and then adding the keys. Now this section was really going to be more so about Shroud, and I changed my mind because the chord progression, I just didn't see it going in a direction that I was trying to make it go. And it was more so about, I think it was more so the fact that I would have a stronger theme going the Mecha Man route as we finally become Mecha Man again towards the end of the game, and suit up, and it should have that reestablished heroic theme in the beginning, but throw it on to, you know, Mecha Man. And I did take a little bit of inspiration in this section from the end credits for Danny Elfman's, end credits from the Hulk, I think 2003 Hulk. It was Danny Elfman's song, but yeah, more so just with the flute section. I like what he did, and so I kind of wanted to incorporate something similar onto this project. this came out to about 4 minutes and 50 seconds. And I thought, wow, I think that may be too long for a theme that I have playing 4 times. And then a bridge section kind of thing that played again at the ending out. Eventually, I'll go back through all this and mix it creatively, putting this one to bed. And hopefully in the future I can make something a little bit better. In these moments, we see a lot of progression through these characters, and the central theme kind of pushes beyond redemption and is more so about qualifying the unqualified. God does this with our lives constantly, and I'd say that He takes us and repurposes us in many different ways, in different positions that we'd never see coming. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching, and there are many more projects to come in the future, and I just leave you with this verse. God bless.